Hey, what's up? It's Neil here. And what I want to talk to you about in this video is I want to talk about fishing while you're backpacking, and primarily, what do I carry my fishing gear in? Earlier this year, I went on an amazing backpacking trip through the Sequoias into the Jenny Lakes Wilderness, Kings Canyon. It was super fun, but I ran into this issue carrying my little Plano, sorry, that was probably really loud. I'm carrying my little Plano tackle box. And you might be looking at this and really this thing's small. This thing's 7 inches long. It's 4 inches wide. It's not even 2 inches thick. But what I found when I was backpacking is this was really hard to get into my backpack with my bear can. And so they were kind of bumping up against each other. And I came home and I was talking with my kids and I was like trying to come up with an idea. And it was one of my daughters. She said, "Dad, what you need to do is you need to take an Altoids container, genius, and you need to turn this into a tackle box." And she's right. The Altoids container is 3.5 inches long. It's half the size. Check this out of this. When you even put it this way, look at the difference. I'll even show you some measurements. The Plano tackle box is 7 inches long. The Altoids tackle box is only 3.5 inches long. It's half the size. The Altoids box is only 2.5 inches in width. It's an inch thinner than my Plano tackle box. And I'm not complaining about my Plano tackle box. I love it. And so taking the idea that my daughter did specifically for ultralight backpacking, specifically for fishing in the backcountry, and I said, I need to make an insert because what I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of divide it up, right? I didn't want to just open this Altoids box and there's lures and hooks and kind of everything's tangled up together. And so what I did is I just started thinking in my mind for a little while, and I thought, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take an Amazon box. I'm going to lay my Altoids container on that. I'm going to trace out a pattern for that. And I thought, I could cut out the bottom and then what I could do on this piece of cardboard is cut some strips that would create some dividers and sort of DIY my own Altoids tackle box. And the more I started processing this, I said, I need to go on YouTube. Someone has to have done this before. And so I jumped on YouTube and there's a video on there of a young man who did a DIY for his Altoids tackle box. And I just have to tell you, I watched that video and I thought, this looks like DIY. And so I thought, okay, let me just do one more Google search. And I did a Google search and the answer is out there. The solution to the problem that I was looking for is out there. And I found it on Etsy. And on Etsy, there is a store. I'll put a description, or let's do this. I'll link it in the description here. I don't make any money by linking it. This guy was just amazing. And I reached out to him because he had created like a 3D printing that would fit into my Altoids box. And it looks like this. Look at this. So this is an exact insert for my Altoids box that you can get. And so I reached out to him. I said, hey, that thing looks amazing, but I'm debating, should I get the one with the 5 slots or should I get one that's just kind of 1 slot down here? And this seller was great. This guy on Etsy's great. I'd never met him before. And he said, hey, go ahead and make the order. And what I'll do is I'll just throw in the other one. Boom. And so from the one order, I got 2 inserts for my Altoids tackle box. And this Altoids tackle box right here, just on its own with nothing in it, I threw it on the scale and it weighs like, what is it? 1.9 ounces here. Look at this on the scale right there, 1.9 ounces on the scale. And full, I'll show you here in a second. I'll give you some some things of full. I'm gonna load this up, but this just on its own, just this insert is under an ounce. So if you're doing ultralight backpacking, lightweight backpacking, and you're counting ounces, you're counting grams, this is what you wanna need. This is sturdy, this is solid. Even the packaging that it came in, I realized, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy trusts his product that he's done. And I mean, the dimensions on this are so precise. They are so precise that I put it into my Altoids container here, and this thing is like, this isn't coming out unless you really try. And you can tell that this has turned into a tackle box because it says fishing on it, and that's the dead giveaway. That's how you know. If you're like me and you're counting ounces or grams or anything like that, what I ended up doing is I took out of my Plano tackle box and put into my Altoids box what I thought I would really need. Like what were just some lures that I would really need, some hooks that I would really need. I threw some sinkers in there. I threw a small bobber in there. I put a handful of lures, probably more lures than I would need or lose, right? Fishermen, you know, we're losing things. And I threw them in to this Altoids box, and then I put it back on the scale. And full, this is only 3.5 ounces. So in my mind, with enough fishing gear that would last me a week, 2 weeks, I'm not gonna lose all these hooks. I'm not gonna lose all of these lures. I'm at 3.5 ounces just on this, where in comparison with my full-size tackle box, not fully loaded, it does have some weight in it in this here, but it's 5.6 ounces. And so I'm about 2 ounces less than I would be just saving a little bit of weight on this small tackle box. Now, you might think to yourself, hey Neil, I want to make my own. I really want to DIY it. And I would say do it. Like if that's what you want, make it happen. What I started doing is I started processing for myself. What do I want to accomplish? What do I want to see? And what's it going to cost me? I'm always asking that. What's the cost to benefit ratio? And I like things to look neat. I like things to look clean. And I love opening this little box and seeing just these clean compartments that my items just fit really, I mean, I'm talking perfectly in that they fit. And I realized there was no way I was going to be able to make this out of cardboard from an Amazon box that would fit what I wanted. And so we're actually going to take this little extra insert here that I ordered, and we're going to make a little tackle box for my son. But I'm sharing all of this with you because the cost on these things was like $4 or $5. And I think because of postage rates right now, it actually might have cost him more to ship it to me than I paid for the item, which I'm okay with that, because at like $8 shipped to my door, that was gonna be a cleaner look. This was gonna be a more sturdy component than I would be able to make, and it's gonna be something that's gonna be able to last. What I started thinking too is if I went this cardboard route, are my hooks gonna stick into the cardboard? And what's gonna happen when I take, gosh, how come rooster tails always do this? What's gonna happen when I take one of these rooster tails after fishing and I throw it back in? And this tail right here is just, it's gonna maintain water and it's gonna make my cardboard wet. It's gonna ultimately deform it. And so what I came to the conclusion for me was Altoids tackle box with the Etsy insert is the way to go. And so like I said earlier, I'm gonna link in the description to the Etsy store where I bought this from. Xavier, if you ever watch this video, you're the man. Keep making this. Keep getting guys like me outdoors for less expensive, quicker, and lighter. The time that you saved me getting this, I'm just thrilled. I'm stoked on your product. I hope that 1,000 people watch this video. I hope 10,000 people watch this video and they go and buy from your store, and that you just feel super blessed with the sales that come because you're making a great product here. Really love what you're doing. Hey, if you want to support this channel, I like never say this because it feels lame, but you can subscribe, like this video, share it with a friend. And I hope this is helpful. And if you have any questions, drop me a comment. I'm happy to answer them and see if I can help out as you move into fishing, ultralight fishing, whatever that looks like.